Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Have you ever heard about self-attribution bias? So there is a cognitive bias that we employ sometimes to ascribe our successes or, reason that our successes are due to our internal qualities, whereas our failures are attributed to external factors. I don't know, we didn't play well today because it was raining. Or something like this, we didn't play well because, I don't know, she didn't like me or my mom hung up on me today. This is outside factors. When we lose, when we win, it could have been the same thing occurring, but I would say because we are good, we were prepared. So when it's about us, when we're winning, it's because of us. When we're losing, it's because someone else, it's not us. That's a very infantile way of seeing things and reasoning. So why did I start with this one? I started with this one because I have an article here. Actually, I have 3 articles here related to the alleged downing of 3 Sukhoi 34s by the Ukrainians. So yesterday I made an article based on some statements from the Ukrainians that they downed 3 Sukhoi 34s in the southern part of Ukraine. So I have here 3 articles and a map so we can assess if that's possible, because now being a success, stated success, right? Claimed success, 3 Sukhois in one shot. I mean, that's unbelievable, right? And they claim it was a certain kind of air defense system, and we're going to analyze if that's possible, okay? Because I know where those systems were located, 2 of them. They're called Patriot systems, and they're in Kiev. And these airplanes supposedly were destroyed in the southern part of Ukraine, which is more than 100 miles in straight line from Kiev. And it's impossible because we know the Patriot systems do not get that far, do they? They do? Okay. So let's see. What do we have here? We're going to start with the first article. Right there, Ukraine Air Force's comments on destruction of 3 Russian Sukhoi 34 fighters gives their approximate cost. Not only the approximate cost, they will give us an assessment how great all of a sudden the Sukhois are. Remember, when they talk about the Russian military capabilities, is a rusty, no good military with weapons that are old, bad, not performant as ours, and so on. Now, when we hit them, it's because we're good and they are very good. They're very good. You're going to find out in this article that I'm going to use. I have 3. I'm going to use just 1 or 2 statements to understand how these guys are now overemphasizing the good quality, the Sukhois. Why? Because we allegedly downed them. So let's go here and see. All right, and here is the area of interest. 1 Sukhoi 34 fighter costs tens of millions of dollars, but this figure may vary from source to source. But such, and I'm quoting, but such a machine cannot cost less than $50 million. This is the lowest price. Such fighters are, and this is the important thing, extremely technologically advanced, so they cannot be cheap. Ukrainian defenders shot down 3 Russian Sukhoi 34 fighter bombers in the south of Ukraine on December 22nd. Okay? Remember this, extremely technologically advanced. So next time when you hear these guys bashing the Russian airplanes, whatever they might be, remember this guy Ignat, okay? Extremely technologically advanced. Why? Because we shot him down. That means we are more than extremely, if you know what I mean. Now, let's look over this little article here so I can show you the Patriot missile defense systems capabilities from the Irish Times. And we have down here somewhere, and they tell us that the system's radar has a range of more than 150 kilometers. That's 90 miles. So let's say 100 miles. That's all. When I say more than, it's about there. It's not like more than 150 kilometers. That's 3,000 kilometers. No. So 100 miles. I knew that, but anyway, I wanted to make sure we got it. 100 miles. The radar. beyond which they cannot intercept an airplane. Correct? Correct. So we're going to go to Kiev, where we know that Kiev is where they have the batteries and they want to expand it in other areas. Maybe they brought one in Odessa. Possible. But if they brought it, okay, that's the first step. Let's go to this little map here. You see, they said in the south of Ukraine, this is right here. And here is Kiev area. Now from Kiev down here is more than 100 miles, that's for sure. So from here to down here. But we're going to look at the second article coming from the New Voice of Ukraine. Patriot system may have downed Russian Su-34s preparing bomb run from occupied Ukraine. So these guys were not even on the territory of Ukraine. So they were not even right here on the territory. So they were even somewhere here. And from Kiev, they destroyed here. If it's the Kiev one that I know of, we all know of. The 3 Russian Su-34 warplanes down on December 22nd were planning to attack Ukraine with guided bombs. Aviation expert Valery Romanenko said in an interview. So they were planning, they were still there. Most likely it was really a Patriot, because we did receive another radar from Germany and our guys were already prepared for it. Okay, the radar, you received it and you already put it over there. Where exactly? Well, I'm trying to figure out if they say anything, but this is what I say. Now, 3 aircraft were flying and got hit all at once, because they did not take into account that the Patriot has a range of 160 kilometers. Even if it is placed 70 to 80 kilometers away from the combat line, there are still perfectly spot Russian planes at the height where they drop bombs, and this can hit them pretty well too. So they claim somehow that probably those things were one battery was placed somewhere here, right in this area, and it has to be very close to the border, very close to the border. And somehow the Russians could not detect it and destroy it. Why? Because Patriot fighters are Patriot air defense systems are fantastic. Again, I don't find any where that could be machine, blah blah blah. That's exactly what they say. Extremely technologically advanced. We go to the last article, and that comes from Business Insider. Ukraine says it downed 3 Russian Su-34 fighter jets, possibly using a Western-supplied Patriot missile system. Why don't they say they did it? Are they afraid of something? Well, nevertheless. Ukraine claims to have downed 3 Russians. Unconfirmed reports suggest. It's so unconfirmed reports suggest Emil was on the moon last night. Ukraine could have used a Western-donated Patriot missile system. First, I don't know if indeed those 3 were hit, and from that uncertainty, they already make the case that possibly it was the. So from a I would say unconfirmed hit. Well, unconfirmed, you have to have other people saying, and that would be not the United States of America saying that, so, or a weasel country, someone from outside. If they should be confirmed first, then you go to the second, say it could have been hit by, could have been, might have been, you know, the same. Make sure you got the first time right, and then you tell us, if you want, who hit it. But no, they now just, they could have been. Why don't you say it hit it? Because they want to see how we react. And what evidence Russians will bring. If Russia will say, no, nothing was hit, what are the Ukrainians going to say? Well, you're lying, which is very possible. But I think they all lie, and I know they all lie. Now, in this case, one of them must be lying soon. So anyway, brilliant planned operation. Okay, very good. Remember, Ukraine says it down, okay? And then he says, all right, may have downed, and the other one is, the article is destroying, comments on destroying Su-34, gives their appropriate cost. My point is this. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. They claim it was the Patriot. They have 2, and now they have, I think, 3 Patriot systems. I don't know if another one was delivered. I know they said they will deliver it. And I know they were around Kiev. And they said they're going to move somewhere else. I don't know if they're going to move to the border where they say right now. And it's surprising that Russians cannot destroy them, obviously. Well, my point is this. This is a, how do you call it, arms manufacturing companies' wars, where they try to promote their product, both sides. When the Russians say they did this to whatever tanks, Leopard 2 tanks and Challenger, or pretty soon Abrams tanks, if Abrams tanks are engaged. I don't think the Abrams tanks are engaged in a war for this reason. They will be blown up. The same with the F-16s. When the F-16s will be downed, and this guy's going to show pictures or an evidence of an F-16 downed, then obviously these guys are going to lose credibility, and the Russians, whomever and however they destroy it, will promote that particular weapon. See? And then it will say, F-16s are perfect, are fantastic. Why? Because ours are perfect and fantastic. Nevertheless, Patriot systems. They try to sell them. That's all what it is. They try to sell them, and then all because you include also. Well, there are air defense systems. They are good. Yes, they're good. Can they hit Kinzhal's hypersonic? I don't think so. But nevertheless, who can verify? Can you verify? The Russians say no. The Ukrainians say yes, and we are like. I don't think they can, but nevertheless, they are working on it right now. I think they have them over there also as a shooting range. For them right now, this is like a drills for Patriot air defense system. Since the Americans cannot replicate, they cannot, because they're not so technologically advanced to have their missiles, their hypersonic missiles function, and all that. They can replicate it, as far as I remember. So that means you can technically prepare something for something, but unless you train in a dojo, you train in a gym, you punch the bag, you do everything, you run, you shadow box and do everything. You can be, I'm very good, should be the world champion, I'm fantastic, I know 3 punches per second or 50 punches per second, I can run this. You have all these specifications very high. Unless you are in direct fight with the best, you don't know exactly how good you are. You are very well prepared. Very well. But in a real situation, you don't actually know how you react. Maybe you shit your pants before you show up in the ring. Because you have to have something that you cannot be prepared really in a dojo or gym. We can do some sparring, but sparring is one thing. Real fight with someone that will have intentions to knock you out, it's a different story. Direct experience, you guys know. So the same here. You can have it on the paper. We're gonna this radar. But you have to simulate it, and everything is simulated. You simulate in the gym, sparring partners and shadow boxing and fighting with the air and punching the bag and all that and running and so on. So we'll find out, and who's gonna win? It's gonna be the arms manufacturing companies. These are going to be the profiteers. Those banking system and energy sectors. These are the biggest lucky profiteers because they didn't do anything. You just dropped on their lap this opportunity. Like it happened to you all the time. You always have opportunities to make billions from other people's misfortune. It happens. When was the last time? I don't think it was ever, and I don't think it will be ever. Things are so controlled, my friends, in this free market economy, but you can still, warm yourself here and there, but you need much more to warm yourself and have such luck. That's just luck, pure luck. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.